glad to talk to you today. So I'll give a quick brief history of what I know of the tarot and then dive into the conscious, subconscious mind. So the tarot deck was created in Marseille, France, and it was originally created as playing cards, as a game. And when Rome and Christianity started to take over that area, occultists and the indigenous spiritual people of the land sort of hid their symbolism in the tarot deck and began to do more of oracle style readings for each other and spiritual work with the tarot deck. So there is a whole journey of the tarot deck. There's the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. And the Major Arcana is 21 cards, and it starts with the Fool. I suppose I'll leave them up here and we can see them later on. I know they're tiny. It starts with the Fool, and over the 21 cards, the Fool takes a journey to the world. And essentially the Major Arcana is a spiritual journey. So it talks of what you have now, where you're at now in your life, and moves through your spiritual awakening and brings you to the World card that then lets you start anew. And the Minor Arcana is made up of 4 different suits, and they're all representative of the elements. So you have the Pentacles, the Cups, the Wands, and the Swords, which all represent different elements and different aspects of our emotions, our mental intelligence and states, knowledge, all these different things, ambitions, and wealth and grounding. For each one is a little bit different. But I figured for today I'll just stick with the major 21 cards. And how I like to use the tarot in relation to the subconscious mind is really interpreting what we get when we pick a card from the image. So there are obviously definitions for each card that have been researched and intuited by people for centuries of what each card means. But it's equally as important when we're drawing tarot cards to see what you derive from your card and what you see in the image. And it's easy to just pick a card and look at the image and say, okay, what is this trying to tell me? But if we really want to dive in, the more specific we can get with our questions, the more that image is going to bring out in our subconscious that's already within us, that we have that answer within, and that image will sort of unfold for us. So I was thinking we could have a couple volunteers that would like to think of a question, and I can give a few examples of what a question might be. And you can come up and pick a card, and anyone who feels comfortable sharing in front of people what their card says to them in this moment. And I have a couple different decks of Major Arcana. I've got this one, it's called the Paulina deck. It's sort of like very fairy-like and whimsical. And I've got this new children's tarot deck I just bought that's actually much simpler images. So I'll give some examples of questions. Sometimes I do self-check-ins with the tarot, so I might pull 4 cards, and one is, how am I feeling? What's happening in my physical body? How am I feeling emotionally today? How am I feeling mentally? How am I feeling spiritually? So you could take one of those questions and pull a card for that. You could ask something specific of, I have something coming up tomorrow, what's the outcome going to be? You could pull a card for that. Or just, what do I want to express at this event here today? Is there someone here today that I'm going to connect with? You could pull a card for that. So take a moment, and if anybody has a question that's bubbling up and you'd like to raise a hand and pick one, that would be super fun. Yeah.